So I recently did a jump in and I got a lot of questions about it, and I figured I would make a long form little video about what it's like to jump into a production as an opera singer. And one of the most interesting questions that I got actually was, is it important for your career to jump in? And my gut answer, I found it really interesting question. My gut answer was, it's not about whether it's good or bad for your career to jump in. It is just simply part of the career. It's part of the game. Generally, work for singers falls into a couple of different buckets, categories, you would say. So I'm a fest singer. I have a regular salary at one theater, and I just do all of the work at that theater. And then when I have time, I can go freelance and guest at other theaters. So that's one category is being a fest singer. Another category of work is being a freelancer, doing guest work. And then another category I would say is jumping in. And all three of those together create a career. And there are people who do only guesting and aren't fest, people who are only fest, people who guest and jump in. It really depends on you, but I think a hot take, more and more as the industry changes and is more and more stressed, it's getting, it has been for a long time, but there's a lot of pressures on this system that we call the opera industry right now. As that gets stressed, singers are gonna have to do, I think, a breadth of those things. You're gonna kind of have to do it all in order to maintain a career somehow. So that's kind of my hot take, is it's not about it being good or bad. It's just part of the game and it's part of the career, and something that I hope this video kind of helps you understand how to prepare for when it happens for you. So the first thing is when somebody calls you, and you really have to think, okay, what is the role? What is the time frame I'm working with? Sometimes you get a week's notice. Sometimes you get a few hours and somebody's like, can you get to whatever city by tonight? You kind of have to decide if it's possible for you. Possible meaning, can you make it through one end to the other with no big disasters? Step one. If you can confidently do that, you should probably say yes. Also, you want to check to see how much they're paying you for the risk. Jump-ins should be well paid because the singer is risking themselves, and you are really taking a risk when you do a jump in. There are so many unknowns, and it really needs to be a role that you, in my opinion, that you have done several times. So for me, for example, I jumped into Rosenkavalier. It was my fourth Sophie. I've done that role. I did a full, new production of it, and then I did what's called a remount. So there's not a lot of rehearsals. I've done it with other people jumping in. It's a role that has been tested over many productions and many different situations. I've done it while sick, for example. So I would suggest, if you are going to agree that it's a role that you've done before. That is not always the case. I have jumped in to sing roles that I have never performed before, meaning I learned the roles, learned the staging, and walked on and premiered or debuted a role as a jump in. I did this with Amina, Helm Vega. I think that's pretty much it. Amina and Helm Vega. I sang Lucia di Lammermoor from the side of the stage. That's another thing that you can account for, is if it's a small time frame and they don't have anybody and you can sing through it with the music. That's also something you can offer, is to sing from the side of the stage while the person walks the staging. That's something that can be appropriate, I would say, in Germany, especially on short notice. I've done roles like that I didn't know because I have the music, and you can kind of sight sing a role while somebody walks it in a situation like that. So that's kind of step one, is, are you going to say yes or no? When you say yes, here's what you need to do. You need to make sure you have the production manager, whoever is really in charge of things for that production at the theater. make sure you have their contact information. Even if you have an agent who is taking care of something, which you likely do because these kind of requests usually come through an agent, be personally in contact with them. There's a lot that can just happen so fast, and like your agent will take care of a lot of the logistics for you and will help like oil the wheels. They might already send some of these things that I'm going to just tell you that you need, but it helps to just have direct contact with the theater in case there are any emergencies, in case anything comes up and you need to call. But really what your agent should get you and what you should ask for are any cuts that are in the music, but also any weird musical things that are gonna occur during the night, like if the music stops for some staging reason or something like that, if the pause is in a different place. In Germany, people do all sorts of crazy stuff with productions, so you never know if there's like a random musical interlude that wasn't there. So any sort of thing that has to do with how the music is played from the time the curtain goes up to the time the curtain goes down, you need that information. The next thing you need to ask for is the video of the production that you're going to learn. And then I would say also make sure you get the address of the theater. A lot of theaters, it's going to be, at the theater, but some theaters perform in several different venues. Make sure you know which one you're performing at, because sometimes time is tight and you are not going to have a half hour to be like, oops, I showed up at the wrong place, let me just travel a half hour or even 15 minutes across town. The other thing you need is to make sure your measurements are sent, your shoe size and everything, because this isn't just about you showing up and like the show going on. It's also about you fitting into a production and a concept and an idea and helping out the colleagues that are already going to be singing on stage, who are already cast. You are fitting into that world. That also means you got to, likely put a costume on and maybe not a wig, and to just be in contact with the wig and makeup department, who are also going to be scrambling to figure you out. That's the next thing. Once you get all that, sit down with a score. My suggestion is to sit down with a score and a recording that you like. If you know the piece really well and you don't use recordings, whatever. The main goal of what I'm trying to say is go through the music only with the cuts that the conductors provided you and any other information like tempos or whatever. Go through the music. Don't worry about any of the staging. Don't worry about the video yet. Just go from beginning to end, looking at the places that are important for you, the words that you're likely to forget, the entrances that are tricky. Once you do that and you have your score marked, usually there are some notes specific to the production that you want to mark in the score. Then what I like to do is keep the score out, turn the video on, and get a extra notebook, and you're going to use that notebook to write down all your staging like you're the staging manager. You need to, we're not so concerned with details. We just want to get the basics down. When you come on stage, do you have any props? And where are you supposed to be? And the most important part of that is, where do you come on stage, from left or right? And where on stage do you need to be? Do you need to do anything for the other characters? Like, you are there to serve them. The most important things you can learn is anything that they need. Do you give them a prop? Do you take a prop from them? Do they say something to you and are expecting you to be in a certain part of the stage? And I think flipping the script, and at least for your brain as well, when you're in a kind of high stress situation like this, is like, I notice I learn better when I'm thinking about helping the people who need to be helped and being there for me versus how am I going to do? Am I going to be able to do this? Will I remember to be stage left? Instead, I try to switch my thinking into, this person needs me to be stage left because they're going to say something to me. This person needs this prop. It is super important that I remember that. So make it about the people that you're going to be on stage with. That's pretty much it. Anything else on top of that, if you know the cuts, where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be there, and any props that you need, the costume and makeup people know everything, and you know when you're supposed to be and where you're supposed to be, you're pretty much good to go. Anything else on top of that is luxury. And I would say like the third level, if you have time, is trying to understand anything about the concept of the director. Like, you are playing a character and telling a story. So anything that you can do to fit into that director's concept of the role that you're playing is like even better. And then I would say the last thing is, once you get there to the theater, have fun. Don't stress. Nobody is helped. No good comes from panicking. Just stay as chill as a cucumber. Take a few breaths, do whatever you need to do to just stay calm and be okay with lots of unknowns. Get excited about it, use them, and just rely on yourself to keep always the music intact and to watch and be aware of what's going on around you if you ever get confused, because likely somebody will be, I mean, we all do this. When we have somebody jumping in, we help them, and it can be very fun. It can be very intuitive what happens on stage. Often these performances are super memorable for us, but also the audience, and we learn things about the piece that we didn't before, and I think they can be really great experiences. So just to remain aware of when you're kind of lost and you're not really sure, don't panic. Just kind of open your eyes, open your ears, take a breath, and do the next logical thing, or find yourself again in the next moment where you do know where you need to be. That's like pretty much it. That's all there is to jump in. Make sure you're getting paid enough for the risk, and that's all my advice. Okay, bye.